Okay, so this is a Majjhima Nikāya, middle Sutta number 75 to Māgandiya, right? Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living in a Kuru country where there was a town of Kurus named Kammāsadhamma. On a spread of grass in a fire chamber of the Brahmin belonging to the Bharadwaja clan, alright? Then, when it was morning, the Blessed One dressed and taking his bow and outer robe went into Kammāsadhamma for alms. When he had wandered for alms in Kammāsadhamma and had returned from his alms round, after his meal, he went to a certain grove for the day's abiding. Having entered the grove, he sat down at the root of a tree for the day's abiding. Okay, now this is a background story. In some of the suttas, we always have the background. And we always say, thus have I heard, because it's reported by Venerable Ananda. And why is it there's no time, like which day, you know? It say that because if put the day, like certain month, or it will be too much detail already. So that's why they always make it very general, thus I heard. Now, this place is Kuru, okay, Kammāsadhamma. And this place actually is very famous because in many sutta, especially this sutta is also mentioned in this place also mentioned in many sutta, especially Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, right? And Mahānidāna Sutta. So this is a teaching especially focused on dependent origination. So you can see Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta is for meditation. Mahānidāna Sutta is for very deep teaching or dependent origination. And Anyanja Sapaya Sutta is also for unmerited. So these three sutta are considered very profound nature. Okay, this means that from the commentary say is because this place is considered a good place. Okay, because it's a good place, this means that the Buddha can teach to them and the people there can realize easily. Right? If it's a place considered poor place, means people will not be able to understand. So no point Buddha go and teach a very deep sutta. So it's a very good place here. All right. Ancient Kuru. Right. So it's a northern India. Right. So that's why I say it's profound teaching. So this place we heard, especially in the Satipatthāna Sutta. Now, there's some story about that. Because it was the exact spot where a man eating ogre normally we translate as yaka in a way, named Kammāsa was tamed and civilized by the Bodhisattva. So it's to do with the Buddha's past life. Right? For the linguist, okay, that's all right. Now, okay, so we continue the reading. So this part is the background. So when we study any sutta, there will be beginning part, introduction. So this is considered a nidana, introduction. Okay, so from here on, and we continue to this one. Okay, somebody read.
Then the wanderer Māgandiya, while walking and wandering for exercise, went to the fire chamber of the Brahmin belonging to the Bharadvaja clan. There he saw a spread of grass prepared and asked the Brahmin, "For whom has this spread of grass been prepared in Master Bharadvaja's fire chamber? It seems like it might be a recluse bed." Master Māgandiya, there is a recluse Gautama, the son of the Sakyans who went forth from the Sakyans clan. Now a good report of Master Gautama has been spread to this effect. Then Blessed One is accomplished, fully enlightened, perfect in true knowledge and conduct, sublime, knower of the world's incomparable leaders of person to be tamed, teacher of gods and men, enlightened, blessed. This bed has been prepared for that Master Gautama. Indeed, Master Bharadvaja, it is an ill sight we see when we see the bed of that destroyer of growth, Master Gautama.
Okay, stop. Okay, thank you. All right, so you have one person here, Māgandiya. Right? And then he come to this place, Bharadwaja clan, all right? And then he asked for what? Now, it seems that you can see here the Buddha went to this place alone, not accompanied by any monks. And the place for Buddha to sleep is very simple, just a spit of grass only. All right, it's not to say all the time Buddha was accompanied by monks, all the time must have a very good place. It's just a simple place here. So also later, sometimes if the Buddha find if a certain people has a parami to enlighten, the Buddha actually all the way, like Angulimala, like Mahākassapa, really go there and met them. One person, the Buddha just go there. Not to say he must accompanied by many people. All right. So from here, we already know that a lot of people get to know the Buddha's good reputation. And then you can say when he addressed him as Master Gautama, means that he respect the Gautama. Okay, and this sentence is exactly the Itipiso Bhagava Arahant Samma Sambuddho. So in many sutta, we can see how they praise the Buddha by saying the qualities of the Blessed One, the Itipiso and so on. Okay, but unfortunately, this wanderer Māgandiya, he's not happy. You say he called the Buddha destroyer of growth. Okay.
Saji, this Master Bharadwaja, is he an ascetic also or?
Brahmin. It seems to be say he's a Brahmin.
Brahmina.
Brahmin, yeah. Brahmin, okay, it's a Brahmin. Bharadwaja. Dwa is two. Ja is born, okay. But I checked the Pali, there's not much even the mention about this. Maybe this name is not so popular.
Saji, what I mentioned is wanderer Māgandiya. Is he an ascetic or something?
Yeah, wanderer means ascetic.
Ascetic.
So this is okay. Here, this is ascetic because the wanderer. Wanderer means he go traveling and then sometimes they practice certain things by themselves, right? But he's not happy with the Buddha. Okay. Again, I think we this one. Be careful.
Be careful of what you say, Māgandiya. Be careful what you say. Many learned nobles, learned Brahmins, learned householder, and learned recluses have full confidence in Master Gautama and have been disciplined by him in a noble, true way, in a Dharma that is wholesome. Master Bharadwaja, even if we saw that the Master Gautama face to face, we would tell him to his face, the recluse Gautama is a destroyer of growth. Why is that? Because he has come down in our discourse. If Master Māgandiya has no objection, may I tell this to Master Gautama? Let Master Bharadwaja be at ease. Tell him just what I have said.
Okay, stop. Okay. So now what they say here, they already know a lot of people have full trust, belief, faith in the Buddha, Gautama Buddha. So they already been disciplined, means that they follow Buddha teaching, they practice the noble way, and then they also follow the Dhamma, right? So they know the reputation of Buddha, they know the reputation of Dhamma. Okay. But still, this wanderer say he want to call him destroyer of growth. This one we have to understand later. What is the meaning of destroyer of growth? He said because it come down to our discourse, but it didn't say what kind of discourse is that, right? Okay, now what I check here, so you have the conversation between the Brahmin belonging to Bharadwaja with the wanderer Māgandiya. Now, check the Pali is called Bunahu. So Buna, according to the we call it the Pali analysis, Buna plus Han. Han is killed. So if we say Buna, I take it as a growth, right? So either somebody who limits the growth or somebody destroys something, right? But later we find that actually the meaning is Buddha advocate the sense restraint, like killing the growth, pressure in sense though, right? But why they call it destroyer of growth? Because that's their interpretation, right? Because when people are learning the different theory of practice according to the way they learn, All right. So they only remember Buddha as destroyer of growth, but they don't even understand what is destroyer of growth. You know, they just quote whatever they learn from their teachers and so on. Okay, next person. Okay,
Meanwhile, with the divine ear, which is purified and surpasses the human, the Blessed One heard this conversation between the Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan and the wanderer Māgandiya. Then, when it was evening, the Blessed One rose from meditation, went to the Brahmin's fire chamber, and sat down on the spread of grass made ready. Then the Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan went to the Blessed One and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous and amiable talk was finished, he sat down at one side. The Blessed One asked him, Bharadvaja, did you have any conversation with the wanderer Māgandiya about this very same spread of grass? When this was said, the Brahmin, awestruck and with his hair standing on end, replied, We wanted to tell Master Gotama about that very thing, but Master Gotama has anticipated us. But this discussion between the Blessed One and the Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan was left unfinished. For then the wanderer Māgandiya, while walking and wandering for exercise, came to the Brahmin's fire chamber and went up to the Blessed One. He exchanged greetings with the Blessed One, and when this courteous and amiable talk was finished, he sat down at one side. The Blessed One said to him,
Okay, so how did the Buddha know? From with the divine ear, right? Divine ear means that the Buddha hear from the Buddha where he sit there, he can hear the conversation which take place quite far. So he rose from the meditation and purposely he went there, purposely the Buddha approached them. So when we say this kind of conversation means that they exchange greeting, courteous talk, this is very normal. Even like Buddha when he was with other ascetic, with the merchant and so on. So this is a very normal way how they greet each other. So now they are talking about this same spread of grass. Okay, now here means that he was shocked, right, to hear that how come the Buddha know about their conversation, right? Yes.
The Brahmin's fire chamber. Does it mean all the Brahmin house have this fire chamber, something to heat it up, or is it a special chamber for worshipping, or?
India should not have the fire chamber all the time. Maybe it's only for their own practice. Yeah, it's definitely will not have because no point now. India is so hot. All right, so maybe it's for their certain things. All right. I'm not sure. I didn't check. I didn't check on that. All right. So now, you can say the wanderer Māgandiya, he went, but he also polite. When they exchange greeting means there are different ways of when they approach the Buddha. So some who are polite, they will just exchange greeting. Some will just sit quietly. Some will just stand out, putting the worship hand. So it depends on their behavior. For those, they call it courteous greeting. So they are quite polite. Okay. Normally they will sit at one side. Normally they say they sit inside. Normally they say they will not sit direct in front or somewhere a little bit at the side. There's a meaning. Okay. Now, from this point onwards, the Buddha start to teach them the Dhamma. Okay. Next person. Yeah.
Māgandiya. The eye delights in forms, takes delight in forms, rejoices in forms, that has been tamed by the Tathagata, guarded, protected, and restrained. And he teaches the Dhamma for its restraint. Was it with reference to this that you say, the recluse Gautama is a destroyer of growth? It was with reference to this, Master Gautama, that I said, the recluse Gautama is a destroyer of growth. Why is that? Because that is recorded in our scriptures. Okay.
Continue, yeah.
I'll continue. The ear delights in sounds, the nose delights in odors, the tongue delights in flavors, the body delights in tangibles, the mind delights in mind objects, takes delight in mind's objects, rejoices in the mind objects that has been tamed by the Tathagata, guarded, protected, and restrained. And he teaches the Dhamma for its restraint. Was it with reference to this that you said the recluse Gautama is a destroyer of growth? It was with reference to this, Master Gautama, that I said the recluse Gautama is a destroyer of growth. Why is that? Because that is recorded in our scriptures.
Okay. So this part, the Buddha's answer the answer, right? So the Buddha explained if they are talking about destroyer of growth, means that restraint of the sense base, right? And then the person keep on repeating the same thing, recorded in our scriptures. It means that he read in, or at the time they are no really kind of writing. Maybe he come by the knowledge of his teacher or whatever. They say there's a meaning of destroyer of growth, but actually he didn't know. Okay, see, whatever the Buddha say, he just repeat the same thing. Okay, recorded in our scriptures, right? So the Buddha talking about restraint of the sense faculties, all right? So this one, sense restraint, right? Okay. And then we'll continue later. No, because Veda is for Brahmin. So this is ascetic. Different, yeah. Because if we say Veda, then they will say according to Veda. All right. It's not say according to Veda. So according to their ascetic. Right. Continue here. Yeah.
What do you think, Māgandiya? Here someone may have formerly enjoyed himself with forms cognizable by the eye that are wishes for, desire, agreeable and likable, connected with sensual desire and provocative of lust. On a later occasion, having understood as they actually are the origin, the disappearance, the gratification, the danger, and the escape in the case of forms, he might abandon craving for forms, remove fever for forms, and abide without thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace. What would you say to him, Māgandiya? Nothing, Master Gautama. What do you think, Māgandiya? Here someone may have formerly enjoyed himself with sounds cognizable by the ear, with odors cognizable by the nose, with flavors cognizable by the tongue, with tangibles cognizable by the body that are wishes for, desire, agreeable and likable, connected with sensual desire and provocative of lust. On a later occasion, having understood as they actually are the origin, the disappearance, the gratification, the danger, and the escape in the case of tangibles. He might abandon craving for tangibles, remove favor for tangibles, and abide without thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace. What would you say to him, Māgandiya? Nothing, Master Gautama.
Okay. All right. So here is talking about five senses base, not sense, okay, with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. So five sense, right? So means enjoy by the five senses. And after that, he understand how things arise, how disappearance, gratification. This one we already mentioned in the previous suttas about this, danger. Danger means danger of the sense desire and escape from that, right? So once the person have no craving, no fever. Fever here means not to say like body fever, means the mind is unrest, thirsty, all right? The mind thirsty for sense desire. And after that, when there's no craving, no excitement, so the mind is quiet, all right? Peace. Now, when he asked this, what do you say to this, Māgandiya? And then Māgandiya go against the Buddha. So previously, he always go against the Buddha. Why? Because it was recorded by our scripture, right? Now he accept already. Okay, you can say at this point, he started to accept already. Okay. Now this point, the Buddha start to tell about his own experience. Because when we remember, the Buddha, he, as a prince, he really enjoyed all the sensual desire and sensual pleasure. Because he was a prince, he was provided with very good, all the materials comfort. Okay, so next person. Yes.
Māgandiya, formerly when I lived the home life, I enjoyed myself, provided and endowed with the 5 chord of sensual pleasure, with forms cognizable by the eye, with sounds cognizable by the ear, with odors cognizable by the nose, with flavors cognizable by the tongue, with the tangible cognizable by the body that I wish for, desired, agreeable and likable, connected with sensual desire and provocative of lust. I had 3 palaces, one for the rainy season, one for the winter, and one for the summer. I lived in the rains palace for 4 months of the rainy season, enjoying myself with musicians, none of whom were men, and I did not go down to the lower palace. On a later occasion, having understood as they actually are the origin, the disappearance, the gratification, the danger, and the escape in the case of sensual pleasures, I abandoned craving for sensual pleasures, I remove fever for sensual pleasures, and I abide without thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace. I see other beings who are not free from lust, from sensual pleasures, being devoured by craving for sensual pleasures, burning with fever for sensual pleasures, indulging in sensual pleasures, and I do not envy them, nor do I delight therein. Why is that? Because there is, Māgandiya, a delight apart from the sensual pleasures, apart from unwholesome states, which surpasses even divine bliss. Since I take delight in that, I do not envy what is the inferior, nor do I delight therein.
Okay. So this part is the Buddha share his own personal experience. So you all be surprised why he had 3 palaces, you know? You know why? Different season and different condition. So when very cold place, what kind of palace you need to have? When in the winter, you need a more warm, more brick is thicker, the window must be smaller, and there must be fire chamber. At that time, there will be need to fire chamber to heat up all the time. So to make sure the place is warm. Okay. And then the raining season, there's another one. So raining season, what do you need? Yeah, it's different, right? And like in summer, what kind of house do you need? It must be ventilation. And sometimes I read somewhere it say when in the summertime they have a underground where there's a kind of like water flowing or fountain that spray the water, so you keep the mist, you know, natural mist. Like you see in India time, they have no this kind of architect, but they use their brain. So they put the underground water or channel with the fountain, so the wind go there. When they travel, they'll carry the mist up, so it's cooling. So that's why, even though he had 3 seasons, he never suffered. As a prince, he never suffered at all. They say even he was have the umbrella holding above his head. Even no dust would touch his skin. You know, so he's so pampered. All right. So and he enjoy. Right. So raining season means that it's wet outside. No need to go outside. So what you do? He stay indoor. There will be people singing, dancing, or whatever. He just enjoy fullness. Okay, so that's the man. And none of them were men, all women. Okay, his security guard also all women. It's true, you know. Even they say some maybe the place is go all women, yeah. Why? To protect, to make sure that he has all the comfort. Yeah.
Right. Sutta mentioned that because this one, Mahānidāna Sutta is just a Brahmin. His father is just not king, but just a leader.
Yeah, maybe a small, very small place lah. But they consider as a king, maybe the chief or leader of that place. Yeah. Because At that time, India is about, I think, 13 or 14. They call it 13 or 14 different districts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 All right. Yes. Okay. So what he do? He enjoy as a prince. Siddhartha, he enjoy. Then after that, he practice ascetic, right? So he go and go forth. So he abandon all the sensual pleasures. Okay. He do not delight that. Okay. Now he say there's a delight that apart from the sensual pleasure. So this means he either talking about the meditation, the delight from meditation, right? Divine bliss means that the bliss enjoyed by the deva, right? Yeah. So he says something that go beyond the bliss of the deva. Okay, I think right now this some explanation. Yes, yes.
3 seasons, 4 months each.
Yeah, 4 months each. Yes.
3 months.
Yes, yes. Okay. I think Myanmar is the same like India. Now is raining season. Raining season start with June, July, September, October. So the Katina will be normally done in November. But in Malaysia, I think Katina done in earlier, right? Because follow the Sri Lanka, right? But in Myanmar, it's exactly June, July, September, October. So, sorry, June, July, September. Okay. June, July, August, September. Okay. Yeah, about 4 months. About maybe start middle, either middle of June or start with July. Anyway, it's around 4 months. So the 4 months is really terrible. You never been a place. It's almost every day raining. Now actually our place also flooded sometimes. Yeah, raining. Sometimes raining non-stop for two weeks. Cannot even dry any clothes or any robes. And then sometimes the monks they go for heavy. The monks they go for arms round, even they go for arms round. By the time they come back, all wet. So they have to wear the same robes. Then the next day go. So many people get sick, very sick. Yeah. So winter will be middle of November, December, January. But now because of the climate changes, actually no winter is considered disappear already. It's only cool season. Even it's not very cool season. In Myanmar, sometimes maybe during Christmas time, beginning of December and up to January, a little bit cool lah. Like in Yangon, sometimes maybe about 20 or 21. But to us, 20, 21, we are already shivering because the weather is always 33, 34. So from 33 to 20, to us 20 is like this is very cold already. Okay. So what he's trying to say that he enjoy fully. Okay, no matter what season, he never suffer. Never suffer. Okay. Sometimes they call it the Vasa, they divide the two. Sometimes they call it first Vasa, second Vasa. Because they have to look at the season and calendar. All right. Okay, now. So here. Okay, this part we continue. Yeah.
Suppose Māgandiya, a householder or a householder's son, was rich with great wealth and property, and being provided and endowed with the 5 chords of sensual pleasure, he might enjoy himself with forms cognizable by the eye, with sounds cognizable by the ear, with odors cognizable by the nose, with flavors cognizable by the tongue, with tangibles cognizable by the body, that are wished for, desired, agreeable, and likable, connected with sensual desire and provocative of lust. Having conducted himself well in body, speech, and mind, on the dissolution of the body, after death, he might reappear in a happy destination, in the heavenly world, in the retinue of the gods of the 33, and there, surrounded by a group of nymphs in the Nandana grove, he would enjoy himself, provided and endowed with the 5 causes of divine sensual pleasure. Suppose he saw a householder or a householder's son enjoying himself, provided and endowed with the 5 causes of human sensual pleasure. What do you think, Māgandiya? Would that young god surrounded by the group of nymphs in the Nandana grove, enjoying himself, provided and endowed with the 5 causes of divine sensual pleasure, envy the householder or the householder's son for the 5 causes of human sensual pleasure, or would he be enticed by human sensual pleasures?
Okay. So, okay, about one point here. Okay. Now, all these are talking about how we see the world, right? We see the world by eye, ear, nose, tongue, all right, body. How the things come to here. But actually, here is considered as all. Can take it as practice, huh? How you see the things coming to our senses. All right. What you say here, if somebody have a good body, speech, and mind, all right, so he will be born in a sukati, happy destination, even in the heaven world, in the Tawantisa. Tawantisa means 33, right? Okay. And surrounded by female deities, nymphs, right? This is called it. And this place of Nandana Grove is a quite a famous place. If anybody with sorrow, even the deities got sorrow, they go to there, they will forget their sorrow. It's very enjoyable place. So that's why this called divine, divine sensual pleasure. So it's trying to compare, can we compare the human sensual pleasure with the divine sensual pleasure? Right. Yeah, divine here what we eat is very gross compared to deity they eat. You watch the Monkey King, like they whatever they want, they can some they have the power just they produce whatever they want to eat, or some even got one wishing tree. Whatever they want, they go into the wishing tree and take. All right. So this Nanda Grove is a very sensual place, very, very happy place. Yeah.
He said this one look like still a lot of male, females. The young god is a male surrounded by a group of females.
Female, right.
So who will reborn up there as a female?
Male and female also.
Yeah. Like it seems that the female up there is serving the male all the time. Having having this.
Yeah.
Very sexist.
Yeah, very sexist. Yeah. But actually it's true. Yeah, it's a very sexist. Yeah. But
angel around.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they have to serve the men,
Okay. So there's a keyword. Because the divine sensual pleasure are more excellent and sublime than human pleasures, all right? So it's comparing, like what we say, like you say human things are good, but if you compare to deity life even more better. You're trying to say like this, okay?
Is there any Sutta talk about what type of rebirth then you become the name? What type is become man?
Normally is defined also on inclination. So if female who enjoy female life, somebody who is female, she enjoy as a female. So her mind inclined to be born as female, right? Like Visakha, she's Sotapanna. But after she's born, where she reborn?
Visakha in
the rich one? She reborn as one of the plant as a queen, also as a female, even though she's a Sotapanna,
Queen.
Yeah, their inclination, she can be born as a male, but she born as a female also, because she like female life, right? Yeah. Okay.
There's another thing I was wondering, because if you notice, all the suttas are written by men. Written by men.
Yeah, because when monks, the Buddha, no, because when the Buddha talked to the monks, he will say the women are danger, opposite sex, right? For the bhikkhuni, the men will be danger. All right. For the monks, the Buddha always say the woman is danger. Okay.
Because all the royal holy book in the world written by men. Even the Christianity also.
Yeah, right. Because women are confined to the house, you know. It's not
They use
easy.
woman to attract,
Yeah.
So you go and kill, got servant angel waiting up there for you.
Okay. Shall we continue? Yes.
So too, Māgandiya. Formerly, when I lived the home life, I enjoyed myself, provided and endowed with the five cords of sensual pleasures, with forms cognizable by the eye and with tangible cognizable by the body that are wished for, desire, agreeable and likable, connected with sensual desire and provocative of lust. On the later occasions, having understood as they actually are the gratifications, the danger, and the escape in the case of sensual pleasures, I abandoned craving for sensual pleasures. I remove fever of sensual pleasures, and I abide without thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace. I see other beings who are not free from lust for sensual pleasures, being devoured by craving for sensual pleasures, burning with fever for sensual pleasures, indulging in sensual pleasures, and I do not envy them nor do I delight therein. Why is that? Because there is, Māgandiya, a delight apart from sensual pleasures, apart from unwholesome states, which surpasses even divine bliss. Since I take delight in that, I do not envy what is inferior, nor do I delight therein.
Okay, so far it's mentioned that there's a human pleasure, then there's a divine bliss, means as a deities, but still there will be something even better. You know, it's not say yet, the story not finished yet. So first the Buddha compared his human sensual pleasure, divine sensual pleasure. But all these are he considered inferior. Inferior. So you're looking for something even better than that. So you have how many pleasure? You have the divine, you have human, but the Buddha consider all these as inferior, right? Okay, then the story coming. Okay, now this is one example. Leper, yeah.
Suppose Māgandiya, there was a leper with sores and blisters on his limbs, being devoured by worms, scratching the scabs off the openings of his wound with his nails, cauterizing his body over a burning charcoal pit. Then his friends and companions, his kinsmen and relatives, will bring a physician to treat him. The physician will make medicine for him, and by means of the medicine, the man will be cured of his leprosy and will become well and happy, independent, master of himself, able to go where he likes. Then he might see another leper with sores and blisters on his limb, being devoured by worms, scratching the scabs off the openings of his wound with his nail, cauterizing his body over a burning charcoal pit. What do you think, Māgandiya? Would the man envy the leper for his burning charcoal pit or his use of medicine? No, Master Gautama. Why is that? Because when there's sickness, there's need for medicine. And where there's no sickness, there's no need for medicine.
Okay, here you say that somebody's sick, all right? So you need to, how you call it, cauterizing the body over burning pit. So when he was having lepers, means the leprosy means very itchy. So it's scratch all the time and use the what, or put over the fire to reduce his suffering. Yeah. But all these are, if he see another person, he will not envy that person, all right? Because he already become well. When he become well, he will not envy another person having this kind of problem. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but yeah.
More heat will get much worsen effect. No, if they use the heat forward.
Mm. Yeah. There are no treatment. But what you say that it's just like he's so itchy that he even want to burn the skin, you know? It's like you compare to your sensual pleasure, even like you going to die, somebody also want to get whatever they want. That kind of simile, right? Yeah.
And I'll say, because leper, a lot of them, they are nerve, finding the nerve also not so good already. Even they burn also, they don't feel pain.
Okay. Okay, I think this the answer is here. This one. Okay. Read, yeah, somebody, yeah. Yeah.
So too, Māgandiya, in the past sensual pleasures were painful to touch, hot and scorching. In the future sensual pleasures will be painful to touch, hot and scorching. And now at present, sensual pleasures are painful to touch, hot and scorching. But these beings who are not free from lust for sensual pleasures, who are devoured by craving for sensual pleasures, who burn with fever for sensual pleasures, have faculties that are impaired. Thus, though sensual pleasures are actually painful to touch, they acquire a mistaken perception of them as pleasant.
Okay, so this is the key point. Perception, as pleasant. So like fire, he burn the skin. To us, fire when burn skin is very painful, but to them, perception when fire burning over their leprosy skin is very pleasurable. And that's we call it. So in the past, actually, all the sensual pleasure is considered hot, very painful, but people like it. People want to enjoy sensual pleasure. Yeah. Okay, I think the rest are okay. We skip the leprosy. We go for this one. This one.
Okay.
What do you?
Okay. What do you think, Māgandiya? Have you ever seen or heard of a king or a king's minister enjoying himself, provided and endowed with the five causes of sensual pleasure, who, without abandoning craving for sensual pleasures, without removing fever for sensual pleasure, was able to abide free from thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace, or who is able or who will be able to so abide? No, Master Gautama. Good Māgandiya. I too have never seen or heard of a king or a king's minister enjoying himself, provided and endowed with the five causes of sensual pleasure, who, without abandoning craving for sensual pleasures, without removing fever for sensual pleasures, was able to abide free from thirst, with the mind inwardly at peace. Who is able or who will be able to so abide? On the contrary, Māgandiya, those recluses or Brahmins who abided or abide or will abide free from thirst, with the mind inwardly at peace, all do so after having understood, as they actually are, the origin, the disappearance, the gratification, the danger, and the escape in the case of sensual pleasures, and it is after abandoning craving for sensual pleasures and removing fever for sensual pleasures that they abided or abide or will abide free from thirst, with a mind inwardly at peace.
Okay, so here. So what we say the Buddha compare with the king. This means the highest person authority there. But still the king, once he has sensual pleasure, he never have peace, So they have sensual pleasure. And also, let's say if the king has properties, a kingdom, he will be worried about people attack, worry about many things. So even a king cannot sleep well. That's what I'm trying to say. Will not have peace, right? Yeah. So when they have sensual pleasure, they always have fever, right? They cannot be their mind be peaceful. So only those Brahmin, only those Brahmin, they understand the origin. Now the keyword is always like this: the origin, disappearance, gratification, danger, escape. So when they really escape from sensual pleasure, then they will be free from thirst and have peace, right? So the Buddha compare with the kings, then compare with those who really practice. Now sometimes the Buddha also use this one. Recluse Brahmin. Sometimes the Buddha also call those who practice also call Brahmin, yeah. Not really, because like samana, sometimes the word samana can also refer to normal recluse, but also can refer to those practice. Sometimes the Buddha also Brahmin also can refer to those who practice. It depends on how the Buddha use the terms. Yeah. Okay. So here is refer to those who practice. Those who are not practice, of course, they will not experience peace. Those who really practice will experience peace, right? Okay.
So does it means the Brahmin by race, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. What you say, yeah, Brahmin by race, that is this one. But this Brahmin is referred to those who practice, not the according to race by birth, right? Caste by birth. Yeah. I think we can finish this by today.
Then at that point, the Blessed One uttered this exclamation: "The greatest of all gains is health. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. The Eightfold Path is the best of paths, for it leads safely to the deathless." When this was said, the wanderer Māgandiya said to the Blessed One, "It is wonderful, Master Gotama. It is marvelous how well that has been expressed by Master Gotama. The greatest of all gains is health. Nibbana is the greatest bliss." We too have heard earlier wanderers who were teachers and teachers of teachers saying this, and it agrees, Master Gotama. But Māgandiya, when you heard earlier wanderers who were teachers and teachers of teachers saying what is that hell, what is that Nibbana?
Okay, so here you can see the statement. Yeah, you can have anything, but the better is the health. Once you have good health, good body, you can enjoy the life. If you have no good health, no matter how rich you are, you cannot enjoy the life, right? And the Noble Eightfold Path is the best path. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. Okay, yeah. So the keyword, because just now I'm talking about human pleasure, divine pleasure, and here the Buddha said Nibbana. Now you can see they always say teachers and teachers, because they always hear from their previous people, right? Teacher and teachers, yeah. Okay. Okay, now what is health? What is Nibbana, right? Okay, now. Yeah, continue, yeah.
When this was said, the wanderer Māgandiya rubbed his own limbs with his hands and said, "This is that health, Master Gotama. This is that Nibbana, for I am now healthy and happy and nothing afflicts me." Māgandiya, suppose there was a man born blind who could not see dark and light forms, who could not see blue, yellow, red, or pink forms, who could not see what was even and uneven, who could not see the stars or the sun and moon. He might hear a man with good eyesight saying, "Good indeed, sirs, is a white cloth, beautiful, spotless, and clean." And he would go in, search for white cloth. Then a man would cheat him with a dirty, soiled garment thus: "Good man, here is a white cloth for you, beautiful, spotless, and clean." And he would accept it and put it on. And being satisfied with it, he would utter words of satisfaction thus: "Good indeed, sirs, is a white cloth, beautiful, spotless, and clean." What do you think, Māgandiya? When the man born blind accepted that dirty, soiled garment, put it on, and being satisfied with it, uttered words of satisfaction thus: "Good indeed, sirs, is a white cloth, beautiful, spotless, and clean." Did he do so knowing and seeing, or out of faith in the man with good eyesight? Venerable sirs, he would have done so unknowing and unseeing, out of faith in a man with good eyesight.
Okay, so this is another simile, all right? So before this simile is, you can see Māgandiya. When the Buddha asked him, what's the health? What's the meaning of health? What's the Nibbana? Okay, she answered that his own limb, his own body is healthy, right? And he thinks that Nibbana is healthy and happy, right? So his definition of Nibbana is very simple. As long as he have this body, he's considered happy enough for him, right? His definition of Nibbana, right? So the Buddha is using this simile, talking about people are born blind. They cannot see. They just believe. They just believe of what people tell him. So because this Māgandiya is always called my teacher, my teacher, my teacher, my teacher, right? So whatever he believes is only like born blind. He just believe whatever people, blind faith, we call it blind faith. Yeah. Okay, now that's why the Buddha say this one.
So too, Māgandiya, the wanderers of other sects are blind and visionless. They do not know health. They do not see Nibbana. Yet they utter this stanza thus. The greatest of all gains is health. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. This stanza was uttered by the earlier accomplished ones, fully enlightened ones. Thus, the greatest of all gains is health. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. The Eightfold Path is the best of paths, for it leads to safety to the deathless. Now it has gradually become current among ordinary people, and although this body, Māgandiya, is a disease, a tumor, a dart, a calamity, and an affliction, referring to this body, you say, this is that health, Master Gotama, this is that Nibbana. You do not have that noble vision, Māgandiya, by means of which you might know health and see Nibbana.
Okay. So it seems that this statement exists, okay, uttered by earlier teacher, right? Uttered by earlier teacher. But it comes only now, it passed on generation to generation. Now people don't understand what is Nibbana. Okay, they thought the body, the health is the healthy body is a Nibbana. Correct? That means that what we say, this statement is uttered many times by all the previous Buddha, right? Okay, but people don't understand already. They only know Nibbana is to do with the body. All right. Even they thought that this, because the Buddha say our body is full of problem, but they still view the body as a happy things. Okay, now. Okay. Yeah,
I have confidence in Master Gotama thus. Master Gotama is capable of teaching me the Dhamma in such a way that I can come to know health and to see Nibbana. Māgandiya, suppose there was a man born blind who could not see dark and light forms, or the sun and moon. Then his friends and companions, his kinsmen and relatives would bring a physician to treat him. The physicians would make a medicine for him, yet by means of that medicine, the man's vision would not arise or be purified. What do you think, Māgandiya? Would that doctor reap weariness and disappointment? Yes, Master Gotama. So too, Māgandiya. If I were to teach you the Dhamma, thus, this is that health, this is that Nibbana, you might not know health and to see Nibbana, and that would be wearisome and troublesome for me. I have confidence in Master Gotama thus. Master Gotama is capable of teaching me the Dhamma in such a way that I can come to know health and to see Nibbana.
Okay. So this part is he requests, he want to know more. Okay. Buddha already say about Nibbana and health. So he is interested already. He no more reject the Buddha. He wanted to know. But come to this part, the Buddha actually reject his, don't want to teach him immediately. Okay. The Buddha say, the Buddha still using the man is born blind, cannot see. All right. So if the doctor, after that, if the doctor made medicine for him and then the man vision will not be arise, so the Buddha compare himself as a doctor. So it's like Buddha giving this simile is actually to reject him, but actually for him to be more interested, to be more interested. Now, because that's why you can see here, the Pali is repeated second time, right? So he repeat request for the second time. So this is the first time, and this is the second time. Okay. I think this simile we can, right? So we can skip it. Yeah, third time. Okay, normally you say every time they say something, the Buddha reject, so they request third time, so the third time. Okay, now the Buddha start to give answer. How you want to gain nibbana, how you gain help, right? So this means. Yeah.
Then Māgandiya, associate with true men. When you associate with true men, you will hear the true Dhamma. When you hear the true Dhamma, you will practice in accordance with the true Dhamma. When you practice in accordance with the true Dhamma, you will know and see for yourself. Thus, these are diseases, tumors, and darts. But here these diseases, tumors, and darts cease without remainder. With the cessation of my clinging comes cessation of being. With the cessation of being, cessation of birth. With the cessation of birth, aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair cease. Such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. When this was said, the wanderer Māgandiya said, "Magnificent Master Gotama, magnificent Master Gotama." Master Gotama has made the Dhamma clear in many ways, as though he were turning upright what had been overthrown, revealing what was hidden, showing the way to one who was lost, or holding up a lamp in the dark for those with eyesight to see forms. I go to Master Gotama for refuge, and to the Dhamma and to the Sangha of bhikkhus. I would receive the going forth under Master Gotama. I would receive the full admission.
Okay. Okay, now this part the Buddha say how to practice, all right? First, associate with true men. Hear the Dhamma, second. Then you practice, all right? Then you know. Okay, now I check this one. This one we call it, all right. Okay, this one we call it the way of stream entry, right? So first you associate with people. So this means that you associate with people, then you listen to Dhamma. You must give attention, then you practice according to Dhamma. So if people want to go for a straight entry, want to attain enlightenment, they have to follow this method as shown just now. Okay? Right. Oh, this part is the method, all right? You because when you associate with people, you like vulnerables or whatever, then you get to hear the true Dhamma, right? So when you get to hear the Dhamma, of course, you'll be able to practice according to Sat Dhamma, true Dhamma. Then after that, you will know. Now, what is this? If you know this, from this part, this is what? Anybody know? What kind of teaching? Four Noble Truth and? Yeah, dependent origination, right? So this part is talking about First Noble Truth, because he actually take his body as happy things. So the Buddha is trying to say, our body is also disease and so on. And this part is talking about the dependent origination. Now, for those who are very wise, once they hear dependent origination, some even can get enlightenment if past life they have practiced well, you know. If past life they didn't practice, maybe they cannot get enlightenment, right? So this part will be, so this is talking about First Noble Truth, right? So this is talking about dependent origination. Yes, you also can put like this. Third Noble Truth also can. Okay. Now this part is say that actually you can see from beginning until now, he always call him Master Gotama, you know. Like previously we see some of the sutta are quite they don't believe. But this means that we can see that the whole method he asks question or whatever, actually he's very intelligent, you know, he's very intelligent, yeah. He is actually very interested in the Dhamma. That's why after he listened to this, he straight away want to be a monk. Now this is called Pabbajja. Pabbajja means going forth. After that, he want to Upasampada, higher ordination. Right? Now, this means that he totally have faith in the Buddha teaching. Master Gotama is actually very good compared to other way of calling. So Master Gautama is okay, no problem. Okay. Now, here, this part. Continue, yeah. Right. Next one, next question.
Okay. Māgandiya, one who formerly belonged to another sect and desires the going forth and the full admission in this Dharma and discipline, lives on probation for 4 months. At the end of 4 months, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with him, they give him the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu state. But I recognize individual differences in this matter. Venerable Sir, if those who formerly belong to another sect and desire the going forth and the full admission in this Dharma and discipline live on probation for 4 months, and if at the end of the 4 months the bhikkhus been satisfied with them, give them the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu state, then I will live on probation for 4 years. At the end of the 4 years, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with me, let them give me the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu state. Then the wanderer Māgandiya received the going forth under the Blessed One, and he received the full admission. And soon, not long after his full admission, dwelling alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent, and resolute, the Venerable Māgandiya, by realizing for himself with direct knowledge here and now, enter upon and abided in that supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the home life into homelessness. He directly knew birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, and what had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. And the Venerable Māgandiya became one of the Arahants.
Okay. So now he want to go forth, but the Buddha say if belong to other sect, he need to live under probation 4 months. Because some people, even though they listen to Buddha teaching, they want to go forth, they might still have wrong view. Because they have practiced another practice for a long time. So they need to test him first. The bhikkhu, other companion of bhikkhu need to test him. But when the Buddha say, I recognize individual difference in this matter, means that Buddha understand that he really sincerely want to be a monk and he be able to give up all his past practice, give up all his wrong view. All right. So that's why he said, I recognize. And then actually, that means that he directly received ordination under the Blessed One, right? From the Buddha immediately. And after that, he practiced and he become Arahant. Okay? That's the end of this story. Okay, now from this story, what is the summary of this story?
But why don't he mention about 4 years?
4 months, 4 months.
No, 4 months, then he give for willing probation, give me 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, very earnest.
No, he means that he's sincere lah. He doesn't mind that if people want to test him for 4 months or 4 years, you know. Okay, he's sincere, want to learn the Dhamma. Okay, now we made a summary here. So from beginning is a place called Kammāsadhamma, and then this is a place where many profound teaching, including the today's sutta, right, Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta and so on, and then conversation between a Brahmin with the wanderer Māgandiya, and then they call him destroyer of growth. Then the Buddha explained the destroyer of growth means that he evacuated the sense restraint, all right, killing the growth pressure in the sense door, right. So the Buddha say, compared to human, because humans are very attached to human pleasure, but if you compare with the divine pleasure, they are actually more excellent. But the Buddha say, if like this, no matter what kind of pleasure, the mind is not peaceful. So if there's no pleasure, then the mind is peaceful, right? Then after that, the Buddha explained what is the highest bliss means nibbana, right? And then the method is associate with the right associate with the right people, listen to the right Dhamma, and then also you practice accordingly. Right. So this is called the way of stream entry in the Anguttara Nikāya. Also have this text also. Okay. Now, this means that is when you go to associate with right people, you really get to know the true Dhamma. Right. That's an important thing. So in Abhidhamma, we call it Upanisaya. When you have the right people, right environment, right food, then we can practice correctly. And then the Buddha also mentioned about dependent origination and then the first noble truth. Okay, so we finish here. The end of story. Okay, so let's see how many online. Emily, Cheng, and so on. Ling and so on. Okay, any question for online student? Any online student want to ask question? Okay. I think most of them will be quiet on. Okay, now we just share the mix. Yeah, I think we maybe can do some. Okay, right. So please follow after me. We share the merits with all beings and all the departed one. Imano punya bagam sapa satanam dem. Imano punya bagam sapa satanam
Tìm
Imano punya
bagam
sapa
satanam
satanam Idam punyatina hotu sukita hontu nyata. Idam punyatina hotu sukita hontu nyata. Idam punyatina hotu sukita hontu nyata. Akasata chalbumata dewa tiga punyata titwa cira tu Buddha sasana akasata jata dewa punyatam cira tu bisa sata dewa cira Aruraro yoga sampati sadas patine cha adonipa ina devo va asatuka sasa sapa vito raja ada iman patita jara parimucisa ida me punya asam tu idam me nibbana sang pacayo hotu idam me silam magapala yanasa pacayo hotu imina punya kamena mame pala samagamo satam samagamo hotu
Yava Nibbana Pattiya Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu Sasanam Sadhu. You want to dedicate me? Okay, just dedicate me. Just say out. Please. Oh, okay. Idame means me. Idamno means our. Right. So we can take it in a general way because not just in this life, in a past life, right? So we have also departed ones. So I feel that Idamno is better, it covers this life and past life. All right. So as the Buddha say, between you and me, we are not considered unknown. Many years we are relative to each other, Yeah, that's why we met here. Right. Yeah. So idam no better lah, in a more general way. Yeah, idam no is we. Our, if you want to do idam me, idam no. So there's sometimes there also another one, idam wo. Idam wo is yours. Then idam, there's another one, te also. Te. Wo no to, yeah. It's a very confusing. Idam me also can, idam no is okay. Normally I use idam no. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we stop here. Okay, sadhu. Okay, thank you online student for joining this class. Okay, tomorrow there's a basic Buddhism, all right? Okay, on 8 p.m.
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
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 Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah.